Thank you, everyone. First up on our agenda is public comment session. We have one. Okay. We have one who wishes to speak tonight.
Well, good evening. I appreciate you guys doing the evening meetings. Definitely makes things easier. Being that you have the ePoll pads on the agenda, I just wanted to be another voice to come out and discourage going towards that. As we know, just a couple years ago, there was a close vote between one of our commissioner seats, and with an audit, we found that our elections here in Isanti County are fantastic, right where they need to be. I like saying that I can trust the elections we have in our county, and would personally prefer, as one of your constituents, that we stick to how we're doing things and not move to electronics that can have issues far too easily. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sabrina. Great. Item B2, approve the purchase of electronic rosters e-poll books.
Okay, so this is to request approval for electronic rosters in the county. I've presented this a couple times now. I'll just kind of run through a quick thing. This is an electronic roster instead of a paper roster. The information is electronically loaded onto them. It does not create a ballot. It's not connected to the internet at the polling place. It's not connected to the DS200 count machines. The total quote for the entire county was $97,670, and that included the 3-year annual maintenance license for each machine. The total amount that we have in grant money, voter account money, that is provided by the state of Minnesota, currently is $91,109 once we collect our July payment. That is a grant that will continue until legislation changes it. What we have in that account would cover 93.28% of that cost. Remaining balance of $6,561 would be paid at the discretion of the board, which comes out to be around $152.49 per ePoll pad, the whole setup, which for the smallest precincts, 2 per precinct, is $304.98. Largest is 8 for City of Isanti, which would be $1,219. And that would be, again, that would cover up for the 3-year administrative maintenance for them. ePoll books create efficiency and accuracy in the polling place, as well as assist the administrators after in uploading history to the state of Minnesota. We have been using this for our 2 largest precincts in Isanti County since 2018. I have never heard any complaints from them. They've worked wonderful. That's it. We're one of 64 counties that use this technology, and I'm just requesting purchase of them.
All right. Thank you for that overview. As you said several months ago, this is an item that's going to be tough to vote on because we're going to have upset people no matter which way we go. So, Commissioners, I think this is a discussion amongst us. Does anybody want to give their thoughts on this?
Well, I did want to actually, Angie, so when we first presented this, it was, wasn't it $100,000, and then we had a $40,000 grant, and we were going to have to absorb the $60,000 between the cities and.
Nope, so I just did a brief. I didn't want to throw actual numbers out until we were going to vote. So I put out there that it was around $100,000 between the cell and the Wi-Fi machines. It was the one quote was over $100,000. This quote was $97,000.
And these are the ones with the cell phone or the cellular connection part?
And then the grant funding, we currently have $50,000 in that account. We are receiving another $40,000. We'll receive $40,341 every year, starting with 2024 on until legislation changes it. So currently, after we get our payment in July.
What was that amount again? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
How much will you be receiving?
In July, we receive the $40,341.
And
We
then-
receive that every year until legislation changes it.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yep.
Thank you.
And those are for, not necessarily just for ePoll pads, that is for administration of elections.
Any other questions for Angie before we talk about it amongst the board here?
Did you happen to answer that lady that asked you that question the other night about what it costs for overtime and things like
I
that?
didn't calculate it. We've been,
Okay.
we've had property tax first half and real ID going on in our office.
Commissioners, what are your thoughts?
Well, after that meeting that we originally had, I went and took a survey of my area. I went to all the townships and put it to them, went to the city of Bremen, put it to them, and Spencer Brook Township was the only one that was in favor of the ePoll pads. Every place else had said we don't want them. And so that I was doing my homework on that. I had multiple conversations with people. I've even had some with other townships that are not my area where people have called me. So that's where I'm at on this right now.
And I've gotten lots of people reaching out to me that do not want them. I've actually had one person that said they did want them. So I don't know. I really struggle with it.
Yep.
So
I know for me that I'm at the township meeting fairly regularly in that, and Springvale Township is not interested, and the constituents that were in the crowd as well. Cambridge Township had a lot of questions, and they were here that night as far as the township meeting night and concerns. People are just, I think the technology or trust, those kind of things, even though we give our Visa number away to all kinds of people, and all these other things, it just seems to be this one area, like people are scared or uncomfortable. I don't know. I haven't found too many people, except for, the half of Cambridge I represent, obviously the city of Cambridge, and that they've been using it. There's not been an issue, that kind of thing. Sometimes I think this step into technology in certain areas is a scary step. And the challenge is, we listening to the constituents and where they're at. Are they comfortable or not comfortable, and what does that look like?
Yeah, when it comes to, our local election integrity here, for me personally, I trust our local election judges. I trust paper, but I struggle with the computers, or your machines or whatever the case may be. And the other issue too is there's going to be ongoing expenses with these as well. After so many elections, part of it has to be replaced. There's going to be software updates, and there's going to be a learning curve and training and stuff that's going to go along with them too. So for me personally, we're just not ready for them right now. So not saying they won't be something in the future, but for right now.
I thought it was quite interesting, the Anoka County Election Integrity Team was here that night, and they had a lot of good things, or I should say good things, but a lot of good information.
I'm hoping to see that information because I haven't seen
But-
what they've presented.
But I would like to say, Angie, though, you've done a great job. And this is, nothing against you or anything like that. You've done a great job explaining it and getting out there and doing the legwork, trying to educate the people about the one side of it. So thank you for what you've done.
Yeah, I think it's a tough tension because, in every other aspect of our life, we welcome in technology. I mean, we use technology everywhere, and we share our personal information, even to our bank account for direct deposits, all those kind of things. And we say, okay, I'm giving this person over the phone my direct, and I'm hoping they handle this information well, just like our election judges. They have information, whether it's on paper or whether it's on the ePoll pad, all those things. And so it's this, our country is based on trust, hopefully, and that's the tension, and that's the tension we have. It comes down to I think with our townships, with particular. It's hard to say. I haven't heard from the other side of the crowd that are like, hey, we're for this. This is good. This is great. And I don't. So that's the difficult part of it, where it could be a silent majority out there that's just like, yeah, what's the big deal? Let's go, because we do it everywhere else in our life. But I don't know.
Spencer Brook was very enthusiastic about this. I mean, they were saying, let's do it. This makes a lot of sense. And I had two other townships say the same thing, I'd be saying I'm going to say yes on this. But I'm gonna listen to what my constituents said on this right now. For the moment, that's where we're at. It may not be that way a year from now, it might not be that way 2 years from now, but that's where it is today.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I think that's my challenge too, is like, ultimately, who do I need to represent and what does that look like? And right now, both townships are communicating to me that they're uncomfortable with it and not for that. And, I wish I would have gotten more positive sides because I see it as a good option and, at the step that we need to take or gonna have to take at some point. I mean, it's just reality, you know.
I think
catch
you
up with
made the
rest of
comment
world.
about eventually you could see maybe needing this, but just right now.
Yeah, for right now, it's just not the right time. I don't, it's,
I mean, right now, we have the funding, obviously. We have healthy funding for it and that, but I guess the comment of, you know, as long as legislation supports, like, gives us the funding and we know other places are not.
well, I'm convinced that if it comes around again, there'll be funding available for it again, but right now, I think it's a no for me, for sure.
I appreciate all your hard work, Angie.
Yes, absolutely,
And,
Angie.
I totally support what you want with this. I think what you want is a good thing because you want to make less work for the people that work for you.
The principle is good.
Yeah, and, so,
Not
we'll see.
necessarily less work, just efficiency.
Efficiency.
Accuracy. It's not less work.
And I know you're very passionate about it, and I really appreciate it. Really do.
this isn't any reflection on our voting integrity in the county at all. This is just what the people that I talk to are saying. So it's absolutely nothing to do with anybody on your staff.
I'll add to that Angie and I met briefly before this meeting, and I shared with her that if it goes the direction that seems like we're going, that it has no reflection whatsoever on you. Because I hear very few concerns about election integrity in our county. But the buzz around our country is quite loud. There's a lot of concerns about voting integrity, a lot of different aspects of it. And I think we're just kind of in a tornado of that. I want to add that you're right, Commissioner Berg, you and I represent Cambridge, and so we know where they stand. Bradford is also very strongly opposed to this. The mayors of both Graham and Isanti have reached out to me and said they were adamantly opposed as well. In addition to that, I don't recall anyone talking to any of the election judges, but I've talked to quite a few in the last few weeks, and I didn't get any support from any of them. I mean, a lot of it had to do with the typical age. You know, it's hard for an older person to really grasp technology, and they're kind of used to doing it the way they're doing it.
I had one election judge that was interested, but the board itself, at the township, is not. So, you know,
Well, I
that was
think
my one
that's
person
the-
that was in favor of it.
That's the tension of we're not hearing, maybe that silent, could be a majority that are like, hey, we're fine with it, we're good, you know, and it may be a different age level, but it's hard to know, we haven't heard, you know, I'm not
Yeah,
getting those emails or calls, or they're not paying attention to this topic and chiming in, but the people that have concerns in the townships are chiming in and emailing and calling, and that's who you need to represent or respond to, or and that's just the hard part about it.
I got so many emails and people commenting and getting a hold of me on it, and yeah, they just don't feel it would be in the people's best interest right now. So
I think that the key is right now.
that's
It's just like, are you?
absolutely, that's what I said too. Yep,
Shift.
right now. Okay,
Any other comments, commissioners?
and thanks again, Angie.
Yeah. All right, is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to against it.
Do we need to have a motion on this?
I believe we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you motion.
We don't need a resolution, but I think a motion would
Okay,
be.
my motion will be we do not do electronic poll pads
At this time.
at this time.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Christensen,
I'll second that.
second by Commissioner Westerberg. Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So can I just ask a
I did not vote on that.
You did not vote?
Abstain?
I want to abstain, please.
So can I just ask a quick question? It's I think we went a little different than we have in the past. Would the motion be purchasing electronic rosters? And then the vote would be 4 nays and 1 abstain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fair enough, yeah.